In the midst of our world lives a group of people whom nature and society itself have placed apart, those we call cripples. Many of them are cared for through public and private charity. Others are the ones who, beyond physical suffering, carry also the hidden scars of the mind. Major James Fowkes is the father of a child with spina bifida. Since 1971, he's been employed as bursar to a trust set up for the care of epileptics. It is in that capacity that he faces trial today at Fulchester Crown Court, accused of stealing funds which the trust placed in his charge.
My wife and I have a son that's suffering from epilepsy. Most children like that can go to normal schools, but not ours. Simon suffers from what is known as a personality disorder. After a fit, he becomes abnormal, violent. There are only one or two special schools for children like that. And so in 1970, several parents like ourselves got together. We bought a big house outside the town called Knowles. We hadn't much money, but we gave what we could. I put in 1,000 myself. We raised the rest of the money by raffles, jumble sales, appeals, anything. The place is a success now.
Do you recall anything that happened on March the 15th, 1973?
I do, very clearly.
Would you tell us in your own words?
Well, it's quite simple. We had a meeting of the trustees, and during it, Sir Richard informed us that we had a favourable balance of over £25,000. We voted to invest £15,000 of it in some steady shares like ICI, with Sir Richard to take the necessary steps. That was typical of him.
Just what was decided, Mr. Bateman?
Don't interrupt your witness, Miss Lewis. You invited him to use his own words.
I am sorry, my lord.
Now, go on, Mr. Bateman.
Well, I just wanted to say that was typical of Creswell's style. He always had to have a hold of the financial reins.
What occurred subsequently?
Well, Sir Richard told us that he'd given the details to Major Fowkes because he was going on a holiday. And then after 5 weeks' time, he came back and broke the news to us.
What news?
He told us that Major Fowkes had confessed that he'd invested the...
Mr. Bateman, what Sir Richard said that the defendant told him is hearsay and cannot be heard.
A fact's a fact.
Nevertheless, it is inadmissible. Now, members of the jury, will you kindly disregard the previous remark? Miss Lewis?
Did Sir Richard give you any news concerning the state of your investment?
He did. He said that he had good reasons to believe that Major Fowkes had invested only £1,500 in the ICI shares, and the remainder he'd put into some speculation called Metalia. What was as plain as daylight was that these Metalia shares had gone bust. They'd sunk out of sight.
How much money had been lost?
£18,500.
£18,500. How was that possible?
Well, Sir Richard said that he also had good reasons to believe that Major Fowkes had convinced Lady Creswell that she should sign a cheque for £20,000 instead of £15,000.
What was your reaction to this news?
Well, we were all shattered. I mean, we'd sacrificed so much, we didn't intend to have it invested in some speculative shares. My wife and I, we'd scraped together every penny we could. Since Simon's epilepsy had been diagnosed, he was 3 then. We just couldn't believe it.
What was Sir Richard's reaction to the news?
Oh, he seemed overwhelmed, yes. He kept saying that he couldn't understand how Major Fowkes could do it to us, or to him especially.
Did you yourself have occasion to meet Major Fowkes during this period?
Oh, yes, 2 or 3 times a week after school, same as usual.
Did he behave in any way unusually?
I'd say so, yes. He seemed very depressed, as if he'd something on his mind, and he looked tense and acted so.
Did he say anything in particular which stays in your mind?
Yes. One night, after I'd come back, he'd been working late, and the both of us went for a drink. He didn't drink much, and neither did I. But that night, he had 2 or 3 large whiskies, and it seemed to open him up a bit. That in itself was unusual. He never told no one his business.
Go on.
Well, as I say, the whiskey seemed to make him more and more irritable. And we were discussing the trust, and I said how happy I was in what we'd achieved. And suddenly he lost his temper. And he said that, he just shouted it at me. He said that private charity could go on no longer and that it was a farce.
Was that all he said?
No. He said that the time was coming, that if wealth wasn't distributed with the agreement of the rich, then it would be done without them. He told me that the time was coming sooner than I thought.
Are you quite certain he said those words?
Positive. I mean, I'd never heard him talk like that before. It was a kind of cold sort of anger. That's the only way I can describe it. Of course, you must remember that his daughter had been refused a place at the school, and quite justifiably because she wasn't an epileptic. But I remembered it that night, I can tell you.
Thank you, Mr. Bateman.
When Major Fowkes made these remarks to you concerning the redistribution of wealth, what did you take him to mean?
Oh, I didn't take it to mean anything. That's for others to say.
Yes, but what did you say to him at the time?
Well, I said if he thought like that, he should be living in Eastern Europe.
Yes, precisely. He was making a political remark, wasn't he, and nothing else?
Well, if you say so.
Now, what do you think?
I don't. It doesn't affect me one way or t'other.
Now, judging from your evidence, Sir Richard Cresswell seems to have told you many things.
A fair number.
In fact, you and the other trustees seem to have been guided by him throughout this whole affair.
Oh, not by choice.
What do you mean?
Well, originally we chose him as a kind of figurehead. But with his title and his big car and his country house, he didn't help the trust. In fact, he put off a lot of the donors.
I see. Could you tell us how the financial side of things was looked after?
Looked after? That was Sir Richard's preserve. His idea was to invest all the assets of the company in the stock market. But that wasn't our idea. We wanted to use the traditional methods, fundraising and things like that. We didn't agree with speculation. All we wanted was security.
What course did Major Fowkes favour?
Fowkes, his views didn't come into it. He was Sir Richard's stooge. It didn't matter what he said, because Sir Richard just did what he thought.
Did you dislike him?
No. I felt sorry for him.
What type of investment did Sir Richard put forward to the other trustees?
Oh, many kinds.
Yes, but which were you most apprehensive about?
The ones he called growth areas.
Why?
Because the risk was too high.
In those areas, did he ever mention the name Metalia?
Not that I remember.
Then he may have done.
No, not if I don't remember it.
Very well, if that's what you believe. No further questions.
No re-examination, my lord.
Very well, Mr. Bateman, you may leave the witness box.
Thank you, my lord.
I call Henry Walbrook Ince.
Henry Walbrook Ince, please.
You are Henry Walbrook Ince of 13 Cavendish Mews, London, SW1.
Yes.
What is your profession?
I'm one of the partners of a firm of stockbrokers, Dimbleby and Ince.
If you would, I'd like you to try to cast your mind back to March the 20th, 1973.
By all means.
On that day, did you conduct a market transaction on behalf of any clients?
Rather a few, I'm afraid.
Do you see any of them in court today?
Only one,
Who is that?
the defendant.
Will you tell us the nature of the transaction?
Well, certainly. Major Fowkes came to our offices that morning to see me. He asked me to arrange 2 investments for him.
What were they?
He wished to buy £1,500 worth of ICI shares in the trust's name. That was no problem. And in his own, £18,500 worth of an Australian mining stock known as Metalia. That was a rather different proposition.
Why?
Well, there was a vague rumour going round that one of their iron options north of Perth, in the Mount Tom price range to be exact, had come up trumps, which, if it had been true, would have meant something really big. Unfortunately, it wasn't. Of course, I warned Fowkes of the danger involved, the fact that Metalia had very nearly gone out of circulation the year before.
What was his reaction?
He said he was perfectly aware of the risk. He did ask what the chances of a short-term killing were, and when I explained they were quite good, he told me to go ahead. Then he wrote out a cheque to his bank.
For what amount?
£20,000, covering both investments.
£20,000. Now, Mr. Ince, did the defendant at any time tell you that this Metalia investment was being made on behalf of the Knowles Trust?
I'm afraid not.
Will you tell us what happened then?
Metalia showed an initial gain, but then after a mere 3 weeks they were on the down very fast, 90 points in 6 days. At that stage, I sent a letter to the defendant, warning him that I didn't expect them to recover. There was never any answer.
My lord, could the witness be shown Exhibit A? Mr. Ince, do you recognize this letter?
That's it.
I wish to draw your attention to the words written on the foot of the page.
Yes?
Will you read them out to the court?
It's out of my hands now. God, what a mess.
It's out of my hands now. God, what a mess. Did you write that?
No, Fowkes did.
Mr. Ince, you are not competent to judge that.
It's unusual handwriting. I happen to recognize it, my lord.
That is quite immaterial.
My
I'm
lord,
sorry, my lord.
if I might be allowed.
Yes.
The defendant does not dispute that he wrote those words. Indeed, he intends to show that they were a just comment on a situation for which he was in no way responsible. You and Sir Richard Cresswell are fairly well acquainted, are you not, Mr. Ince?
Fairly well.
It's a fact, isn't it, that shortly after the war he made an application to join your firm of stockbrokers, Dimbleby and Ince.
Yes, as I recall.
Was he accepted?
No.
Why was that?
Basically, he was felt to be unsuitable.
I see. Now, how do you think Sir Richard views himself in terms of financial ability?
My lord, how can the witness possibly answer that question?
In view of the long-standing relationship, I think he can. You will answer.
I'm sorry. I've forgotten the question.
I asked you how Sir Richard sees his own abilities.
Well, Cresswell is someone who believes he has an instinct.
An instinct for what?
A quick return, an opening others haven't spotted.
Now, if I may, I'd like to go back for a moment to your meeting with Major Fowkes on March the 20th. You said he never told you on whose behalf that £18,500 Metalia investment was being made.
That's right.
But didn't you ever ask him?
No, I didn't.
Oh? Why not?
For the same reason I didn't try harder to dissuade him from it. You see, the thing is,
Yes?
it sounds rather stupid now, but when Fowkes first mentioned Metalia to me, I was frankly surprised. I couldn't imagine where he'd picked up the tip, you see. So I assumed the basic idea had been Richard's all along, and knowing he was the type who would follow a hunch as far as it led, I left well alone.
You assumed that the basic idea had been Sir Richard's.
Silly, really. But yes.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Ince.
I call Lady Virginia Cresswell.
Lady Virginia Cresswell, please.
You are on the board of the Knowles Trust.
Yes,
Please tell us the reason for your association with the trust.
yes. Our son...
Could you speak a little louder?
Our son suffers with epilepsy. He needs special care.
On March the 15th, 1973, were you present at the board meeting held at the Knowles School?
No, I was away for a few days then on a seminar to do with handicapped children.
Do you remember anything in particular which happened on March the 18th, 1973?
I'm sorry, March?
The 18th, while your husband was on holiday?
Yes. Major Fowkes spoke to me.
Concerning what?
He had a check from my husband that he wanted me to sign.
Why?
Well, any check on behalf of the trust had to have 2 signatures on it, and my husband and I were the only trustees with authority to sign.
Did Major Fowkes tell you the purpose of the check?
Well, he said it was made out to him for convenience, but it was actually intended for Dimbleby and Ince, the stockbrokers.
Would you tell us the ensuing conversation in your own words?
Well, he said that at the board meeting on the 15th, I think it was, it had been decided to invest
Yes.
some of the trust's money.
How much?
He didn't say.
Lady Cresswell, please take your time and think carefully. Did the defendant mention any particular sum?
No.
On the check he gave you, was there any amount filled in?
No.
Well, then who filled it in?
I did.
For what amount?
£20,000.
Why that amount?
Don't ask me.
Was it the defendant's idea?
No,
Well, was it yours?
it was. Yes.
My lord, there is a matter of law I should like to discuss with you, which is of no concern to the jury.
Yes, I take your meaning. Members of the jury, would you retire while this point is discussed? Miss Lewis?
I think there can be no doubt as to Lady Cresswell's attitude in examination. I would like your lordship's leave to treat her as a hostile witness.
Do you have any objection to that proposal, Mr. Harvester?
Most definitely, my lord. It's quite obvious that the witness remembers the events in question perfectly clearly. To treat her as hostile would be, in my submission, not only unjustified, but prejudicial.
May I point out to your lordship that her present testimony runs directly opposed to her original statement?
Yes. I think I'm bound to grant the application. We'll have the jury back now, please.
Lady Cresswell, do you remember a conversation between yourself and the accused in which mention was made of a clinic in Sweden?
Yes.
When did it take place?
A week or two before he was arrested.
What did the accused say in the conversation?
He said he thought there was a chance of his daughter going to the Fredrickson Institute at Gothenburg.
Why there in particular?
But they have a unit that specializes in spinal bifida disease. That's what Eloise...
Did he tell you how this was to be paid for? Did he?
No.
Now, let us return to your meeting with the accused on March the 18th. He asked you to fill in and sign a check for him, is that correct?
Yes.
Did you already know the purpose of the check?
No.
And he told you it was to cover an investment already decided on by the board, is that correct?
Yes.
Did he tell you what the amount of the investment was to be?
Well, he...
Did you already know?
No.
Well, then who told you?
He did.
What sum, what figure, did Major Fowkes ask you to fill in the check for? What figure, Lady Cresswell?
£15,000.
Well, I have here your original statement made prior to committal proceedings. I quote, Major Fowkes then told me the sum for investment had been fixed at £20,000. Did you say that?
I don't know. I suppose so.
And are you now telling us it's not the truth?
Yes, you see, I was under a strain.
Lady Cresswell, I must remind you that the penalties for committing perjury are severe. You would do well to bear that in mind.
For what sum did Major Fowkes tell you to make out the cheque?
£15,000.
Then why did you make out the cheque for £20,000? It was Major Fowkes' idea, wasn't it? Well, was it yours?
Well, why shouldn't it be? His daughter deserves every penny of it. It's a scandal people like her can't find proper treatment.
I have no further questions, my lord.
Have you and your husband always been on good terms with the accused?
Yes, we had a very good relationship.
You were friends?
We were.
And do you honestly believe that he cold-bloodedly lied to you in order to obtain that £5,000?
No.
Whose idea was it? Was it yours?
Yes.
Will you tell us what really happened?
Well, it was while I was away on the seminar. I started thinking about what the trust could do to help his daughter. The situation was so absurd, just because she hadn't been fortunate enough to have been born with epilepsy like mine. I knew perfectly well the trust could stand another 5, so I persuaded him to accept it as our investment, with the interest to be used for the benefit of his daughter.
How did you persuade him?
Oh, it wasn't difficult. He was desperate. And I told him that I would square it with the board just as soon as my husband's holiday was over.
Why didn't you tell all this to the police? Why did you lie to them?
It's hard to explain now. But when my husband told me that Major Fowkes had confessed to the main charge, that of stealing £15,000, I lost my head. I began wondering whether all along James hadn't just been exploiting my sympathy for the situation. And I thought about what would happen if the truth about the other 5,000 became known. It could have wrecked the Trust's reputation, and with it the lives of all those children. They were more important even than James.
Do you remember the board meeting called by your husband on April the 22nd?
Yes.
What did he tell the trustees at that meeting?
He told us that Major Fowkes had confessed to stealing £15,000.
And when was this confession supposed to have taken place?
The day before.
In whose presence?
My husband's.
And who else's?
No one's.
That night of the 21st, can you remember anything else that Sir Richard did?
Nothing special.
Well, let me help you. He got drunk, didn't he?
Well, he drank a little, that's all.
Was that unusual?
Well, no.
Did he tell you the reason?
No.
Did you ask him? Surely you asked him.
Yes, I suppose I did.
But he wouldn't tell you. Thank you.
Lady Cresswell, I suggest to you that you've told an extremely stupid lie.
The stupidest I've told in my whole life.
I'm not referring to your statement to the police. I mean your evidence today in court.
That's not a lie.
We'll see. Let's go back to your meeting with the accused on March the 18th when he asked you to sign the cheque. By the way, what time of day did this take place?
About 10 o'clock in the evening.
Oh, 10 o'clock. Where?
We were having dinner at a restaurant.
While your husband was on holiday?
Are you suggesting that there's something wrong in that, Miss Lewis?
Not wrong, my lord. No, merely unusual.
But that seems to be an odd thing to say about a woman in this day and age.
As your lordship pleases. Lady Cresswell, in your new story, the idea of investing an extra £5,000 was entirely yours.
Yes.
And you intended to square it later with the other trustees?
Yes.
When did you do that?
Well, I wanted to square it with my husband first, but he was on holiday.
So, you spoke to him on his return?
No, I'm afraid I didn't.
Why not?
It isn't easy to understand.
We'll do our best.
Well, I was frightened he'd disapprove. You see, our relationship had been going through rather a bad period.
That I can understand.
What do you mean?
Well, you appear to put your loyalty to a friend above that to your husband.
That's untrue.
Is it? Isn't your whole testimony here today a foolish lie motivated by this friendship?
No. What's the matter with your mind? Do you think it's impossible for intimacy to exist between a man and a woman unless they're married?
Oh, I'm aware it's all too possible. What concerns me is the exact degree of that intimacy.
Well, then I'll tell you. It's
Just answer the question I asked you, Lady
You
Cresswell.
already asked a question by implication, Miss Lewis. Now let the witness answer it.
My lord.
Well, I was only going to say that in our case, it's based on the fact that we've seen suffering in both our lives. And more important, we've felt it. Perhaps you haven't.
The case of the Queen against Fowkes will be resumed tomorrow in the Crown Court. At Fulchester Crown Court, Major James Fowkes stands charged with stealing trust funds in his capacity as bursar to a school for epileptic children. The jury have heard one of the trustees, Peter Bateman, confirm that Fowkes was instructed to invest £15,000 of trust money in ICI shares. Henry Walbrook Ince, a stockbroker, testifies that the accused put only 1,500 of this into ICI. The rest was invested under his own name in some high-risk mining shares which are now worthless. The cheque for the investment came from another trustee, Lady Virginia Cresswell. It is alleged that Fowkes deceived her into signing it for £20,000 instead of 15. But in the witness box, Lady Cresswell unexpectedly retracted this story and admitted that she herself had suggested investing the extra £5,000 for the benefit of the accused's crippled daughter. The one person still unaware of this fresh development is her husband, Sir Richard Cresswell, chairman of the trust, the man the defence say lies behind this whole squalid affair.
Under what circumstances did the accused come to join you on the Knowles Trust?
It was in the summer of 1971. I'd met him again after an interval of, 20 years. We'd known each other in the army just after the war, so when a bursar became necessary for the trust, we naturally thought of him.
Why was that?
I happened to know that he'd fallen on hard times recently, economically speaking. But what tipped it was the fact that he had a handicapped daughter himself. I thought that would make him more understanding, more responsible, if you like. And until March of this year, he did nothing to make us regret our decision.
Would you tell the court what occurred on March the 15th?
Certainly. A meeting of the trustees was held that day. We voted to invest £15,000 of trust money in ICI stock.
Was the accused present?
Oh, no. I gave him his instructions some hours afterwards.
What precisely did you tell him to do?
To place that £15,000 in ICI shares and get the cheque signed by my wife while I was away. Nothing else.
Please go on.
There really isn't a great deal to tell. It was on April the 21st that Major Fowkes came round to my house in the evening and asked if he could speak to me alone. And then, quite simply, he told me the whole story.
What did he tell you?
He said he'd only invested £1,500 in ICI shares. All the rest of it had gone on some Australian mining stock known as Metalia, under his own name. 18,500, that is. He said that included an extra £5,000 he'd obtained from my wife by telling her the sum to be invested was £20,000 instead of 15.
Are you quite certain he said that?
Oh, yes. You see, I never told my wife what amount to make out the cheque for.
What else did Major Fowkes say?
He had in his hand a copy of the Financial Times announcing that the stock exchange had suspended all dealings in Metalia. And he also showed me a letter he'd received from our stockbrokers more than 10 days before, warning him that the shares were falling rapidly and asking whether any action should be taken.
Clerk of the court, would you show the witness Exhibit A? Sir Richard, do you recognize this letter?
Yes, that's the one.
Would you read out the date on it?
April the 9th.
And when did the accused bring it to you?
On the 21st.
The 21st. 10 days afterwards.
If only he'd come to me sooner, I might have been able to help him.
Did he give you any reason at all for the things he said he'd done?
Not really. At the time, he was completely broken. He just kept saying, I've been a fool. You must do whatever you think fit.
I see. Go on.
Well, I told Major Fowkes to let me think it over for 24 hours to see if I could find some way out of the situation. But the next day, very reluctantly, I decided there was no alternative but to call an immediate meeting of the trustees. At that meeting, it was voted that we should inform the police.
One last thing. Just imagine, if you can, Sir Richard, that you were the one responsible for this bizarre investment. Can you tell us what would have been your actions subsequently?
Certainly. I follow the market reports every day. As soon as Metalia showed any substantial fall, I'd have unloaded them on the spot.
Thank you.
Really, it's as ridiculous as suggesting my wife could give out £5,000 of trust funds without telling anyone.
Nevertheless, you're not being asked that at the moment.
Well, I was asked a moment ago, and I told you. Good God, the man confessed.
Sir Richard, you are here
I am here to protect my name. And I'm just as entitled to protect my wife's.
The fact is, your wife's testimony no
Miss
longer...
Lewis, if you were about to say what I think you were, that is a piece of grossly improper conduct. I will not have you trying to warn the witness. So long as you are in my court, you will obey the rules of evidence. Now, is that understood?
I do apologize, my lord.
Then perhaps we may proceed.
I'd like to say something for the record, if I may.
Yes, Sir Richard?
It's just that I'm sure Major Fowkes intended to repay the funds sooner or later.
£18,500 is a great deal of money, Sir Richard, and to have been stolen from you by a man who was once your friend...
No, to be honest, we were never really close friends. I bear him no malice.
Thank you, Sir Richard.
What was Major Fowkes like as a man to work with?
Well, it's hard to put in a word. He always carried out his instructions very efficiently.
A follower rather than a leader?
He didn't have a great deal of personal initiative, if you know what I mean.
But the same can scarcely be said of you. Several witnesses have testified that you possess a bent for speculation. Now, I'd like to turn to the trustees' meeting on March the 15th. Shortly after it, you, as chairman, gave Major Fowkes instructions to invest?
Correct.
In whose presence?
In private.
In private? Did you inform him what precise sum was to be invested and in what shares?
I told him exactly, 15,000 in ICI.
Do you remember what you did next?
I told him to get the cheque signed, countersigned by my wife. Are you proposing to go through all that again?
No, not at present. Why did you tell him to do so?
Because I was going away on a sailing holiday.
A sailing holiday at that moment?
My lord, is my learned friend suggesting there's something wrong with that?
No, not at all. Not for those who can afford such luxuries.
Mr. Harvester, this case could move along a lot faster if you would confine yourself to the evidence alone.
Certainly, my lord. Now, Sir Richard, let's move on to this letter from the stockbrokers that we've heard so much about. A letter dated April the 9th, and which you say my client delayed 10 days before giving to you.
No, I didn't say he delayed it. I merely said he gave it to me on the 21st.
Yes, whichever you prefer, but I suggest that he gave it to you the day after he received it.
On the contrary, I'm afraid. I approached him on more than one occasion to ask if there'd been any further communication from our brokers, and I was told they hadn't. He kept that letter right up until his nerve broke.
Well, surely, if you'd wanted to find out the current price of Metallia, you need only have looked in the Financial Times.
You're forgetting that at that stage I had no idea any money had been invested in Metallia.
You're quite right. For one moment, I had forgotten. Now, let's turn to this evening on which, in your dramatic phrase, the defendant's nerve broke. Do you still maintain your story that he admitted everything?
Of course.
You'll agree that Major Fowkes had little or no knowledge of the stock market.
Very little.
And yet you expect this court to believe that all by himself he caught on to some shares which at that time were virtually unknown.
I don't expect you to believe anything. I'm merely telling you what I witnessed, that's all.
Yes. Well, I'll come now to Major Fowkes' confession. In this, according to you, he admitted lying to your wife over the sum which was to be invested, telling her it was £20,000 and not 15.
Yeah.
You're quite sure that's correct?
Yeah?
Would it surprise you to learn that your wife has now changed her testimony on this point? She now admits that it was her idea to sign that cheque for the extra £5,000 to be invested on behalf of the defendant's daughter.
But that's impossible.
Nevertheless, it is a fact, Sir Richard.
I'll ask you again. Do you still maintain that Major Fowkes confessed to you that he had deceived Lady Virginia? Or are you saying that your wife is a liar? I don't think that the jury heard that, Sir Richard.
What I've told you is true.
And I put it to you that your whole account of that evening is a tissue of lies invented to save your own skin.
A moment. Sir Richard, did you and Lady Virginia discuss this affair between yourselves?
No.
Not at any time?
Not really. Our relationship isn't very close at the moment.
Now, this is very important. From your own knowledge, can you think of any reason why Lady Virginia's present testimony does not concur with her original deposition?
I don't presume to criticize your lordship, but surely the witness isn't qualified to answer that?
Thank you for your guidance, Mr. Harvester. But since the witness is her husband, I judge him to be.
As your lordship directs.
Sir Richard?
I can only think she felt sympathy for Major Fowkes, as I did, and doesn't want to put him in prison.
I see. Thank you. Proceed, Mr. Harvester.
My lord. Sir Richard, after the defendant left you that night, did you start to drink?
Not the way you put it. I had one or two. I wanted to think.
Yes, I'm sure you did. So much so that you drank very heavily.
Is that your business?
No, no, it's entirely your own affair. But isn't it dangerous for someone prone to epilepsy to drink a lot?
My lord?
Is that really relevant, Mr. Harvester?
I should have thought it was significant, my lord. But if your lordship prefers, I shan't insist.
I don't expect you to believe this, but the truth is I felt a responsibility for Major Fowkes, having been the one who recommended him in the first place.
Well, let's see just how you demonstrated this responsibility, shall we? You called a meeting of the trustees the following afternoon, yes?
Yeah?
Such meetings were normally held at the school, weren't they?
Yes.
Then why did you arrange for this one to take place at the home of one of the trustees?
It was a question of time. It's the most convenient place.
Yes, very convenient. There's no chance of Major Fowkes being present to hear what was said, was there? In fact, he had no knowledge of that meeting, did he?
I phoned him afterwards.
Oh, was that after you'd been to see the police?
Naturally.
And when did you see them?
Mr. Bateman and I went round straight after the meeting, around 4.
And when did you ring Major Fowkes?
I called him sometime that evening.
To be more precise, at 7:30, wasn't it?
Yes, I believe so.
Why did you wait so long before phoning him? Wasn't it so that he should have no time to be able to communicate with anyone?
No. I just didn't know how to break it to him.
Oh, yes, yes, your sense of responsibility. Did you show the same towards the soldiers under your command?
Oh, my lord, how much longer must we sit here and listen to these personal insults?
Mr. Harvester, I repeat, this case could progress a lot faster if you would confine yourself to the evidence alone.
I apologize, my lord. Sir Richard, I put it to you that you initiated this criminal scheme and then tried to...
Pardon me. If I had initiated it, it would not have been criminal.
Oh? Why is that?
Because I could have afforded to and would have repaid every penny that had been lost.
Yes, well, it's a little late in the day for such sentiments, I'm afraid. You've managed to mislead people until now.
That's untrue.
Is it? Didn't you mislead the accused into doing your dirty work for you under his own name, just as you misled him from the very beginning, by promising him that his daughter could have a place at the school, and then going back on that promise?
That's also untrue. I never made such an offer. The truth is, the girl suffers from spina bifida, and her intelligence doesn't measure up to most of our children. In case you don't know, a lot of epileptic children have very high IQs, and they
Yes,
don't...
well, no doubt,
Let
but
the witness answer the question, Mr. Harvester.
I was just going to say that epileptic children are only incontinent after a fit, but the defendant's child is permanently so. Good God, you think I'm a monster?
Not in law, but I do suggest that you're a liar, that you've been lying to this court here today, just as you've lied to those people who trusted you.
I don't understand what you mean.
Don't you? Isn't it a fact that you didn't even tell your wife that you were prone to epilepsy until after you're married?
My lord,
Mr. Harvester.
I withdraw that question, my lord. I don't think any answer is necessary.
I have never lied to Major Fowkes. I have always treated him fairly.
You call a salary of £1,800 a year treating him fairly?
The trust couldn't afford any more.
No, but you personally could have done.
Well, my wife gave him substantial help out of her own money.
Yes, which brings me to my final point. You resented the close relationship between them, didn't you?
No.
You resent it because it's something better than your own.
That's stupid.
I don't think so. I put it to you that you suffered, and I use that word advisedly, you suffered from a strong but concealed personal antipathy toward the man there in the dock. And that antipathy revealed itself on the day that your gamble failed, and you decided to make him your scapegoat.
I can't even recognize myself. I'm sorry to use a cliche, but as far as I'm concerned, my wife and Major Fowkes were just friends. Nothing else.
No doubt, Sir Richard.
You may step down, Sir Richard.
That concludes the case for the prosecution, my lord.
You are Major James Fowkes of 24 Hillfield Crescent, Fulchester.
Yes.
Would you speak up, please?
Yes, I am.
Now, Major, I'd like you to tell the court, quite simply and in your own words, everything that happened beginning on March the 15th.
On the afternoon of that day, Sir Richard Cresswell came to my office, told me that the trustees had decided to make an investment, a sizable one. Later...
That's all he said?
Yes. He seemed quite excited about the idea. Later on, just as I was leaving, he came in alone, suggested that we should go to our local for a drink. When we arrived there, he gave me the details. £15,000, 1,500 of which was to go into ICI shares, and the rest into Metalia mining. Then he asked me to keep the whole matter under my hat because he didn't want anyone else catching on to Metalia. Also, he thought that some people might disapprove of the trust speculating in that type of share.
Some people?
So I assumed by that he meant some of the children's parents and our supporters.
Go on.
Well, I was wondering why he was telling all this to me when he asked me to take charge of it myself because he was going on holiday. He said that the investment would only be short-term, a month or two at the most, and that as soon as Metalia had gone up 50 points, it'd sell, and then he'd tell the faint hearts about the killing. So I agreed.
Why?
As a favor. In the hope that my value to the trust might be better recognized.
What happened next?
Well, as Sir Richard suggested, I went to Lady Virginia for the cheque. I asked her to make it out for 15,000, but she... Well, to cut a long discussion short, she persuaded me to accept an extra £5,000 to invest for Eloise, for my daughter. A few days afterwards, I took a cheque for 20,000 to Mr. Ince and arranged the investment with him. 1,500 in ICI shares, 18,500 in Metalia under my name. Sir Richard had suggested using my name for the sake of discretion.
Ah. Now, that 18,500 included the extra 5,000?
Yes. Yes, I was a fool. But see, the truth is, for the sake of my daughter, I was prepared to back Sir Richard's instincts. The profits looked so good.
Continue.
On April the 10th, I had a letter from Ince saying that Metalia mining were going down quite fast. There was a partial recovery, but it didn't last.
What did you do with that letter?
I showed it to Sir Richard the very next morning, and he kept it.
But not you, as he claims.
No, not me.
He also claims that if, as you maintain, the Metalia investment had really been his idea, he would have pulled out by that stage. Well, what do you say to that?
What can I say? Only that I suggested to him that we sell while we still had the chance, but he wouldn't hear of it. He said that the whole secret of speculation was knowing when to hang on. You see, now he was just burying his head in the sand.
Now, at the foot of this letter, there appear the words, "It's out of my hands now, God, what a mess." You don't deny that they were written by you?
No. And I believe they support my version of the events.
Yes, I see. Carry on.
Yes. Well, that's just what we did. We carried on, he and I, the blind leading the blind, until quite suddenly the stock exchange suspended dealing in Metalia. That was on April the 21st, the night that I went to him and to insist that he must act. He asked me to give him 24 hours to do nothing until I heard from him.
Is there any truth whatsoever in Sir Richard's story of your confession?
No. He did get one thing right, though. I was carrying a copy of the Financial Times.
What happened after that?
At about 1 o'clock in the morning, I telephoned him. I couldn't sleep. He was extremely incoherent. He had been drinking.
My lord, that is conjecture.
Major Fowkes, you yourself do not know that.
Very well. Lord, he sounded as if he had been drinking. I felt sorry for him, so I decided to leave things as they were until the following afternoon. And I telephoned him at his house, but there was no answer. Finally, at about 7:30, Sir Richard telephoned me. I remember it quite clearly. He said, "I have decided that the truth will have to come out." Those precise words.
What was your reaction?
Well, I was pleased, of course. I never suspected anything, right up until the police came to question me, after which I was charged.
Did Sir Richard give you any warning at all of what was going to happen?
No one did.
When you learned that Lady Cresswell was to appear here as a prosecution witness concerning the loss of this £5,000, did you attempt to communicate with her?
I tried to see her twice, but she wouldn't speak to me.
Thank you.
So far, you've given us an admirably clear account, Major. However, there are one or two things my learned friend has left out. And with your help, I propose to remedy that.
By all means.
How would you describe your profession?
I'm a soldier.
That was 20 years ago, wasn't it?
18.
18. What did you do after that?
I started a small furniture business.
What happened to it?
It failed.
What is the longest time you've stayed in any one job?
3 years.
What do you earn?
£1,800 a year.
At 49.
There's also my army pension.
Your wife has a heart condition, has she not?
Yes.
I understand this makes it necessary for you to employ a home help to look after your daughter.
Yes.
Your daughter's illness also requires treatment, does it not?
If she's a spina bifida, what do you think?
Do you think that life has been hard to you?
Would you?
I'm asking you, Major.
Well, yes, I feel that.
Do you resent it?
Sometimes.
I suggest to you, you see, that your feelings of resentment and injustice have all become focused in the person of your employer, Sir Richard Cresswell.
You're mistaken.
You believe, do you not, that he promised and then denied your daughter a place at the school?
You tell me that it isn't true that he did that.
Whether or not it is true, you believe it to be true.
I don't condemn a man just because he doesn't need to work for his living.
Really? Are you sure? You see, Mr. Bateman has already testified that you made a remark to him concerning the inequality of wealth in this country.
In this world.
As you wish.
I've seen a great deal more of inequality than you have.
I doubt it.
I was in Berlin after the war. I was in Korea. I was in Cyprus. If you had seen...
Yes.
You would have realized that what we need is to take a knife to the body of our whole sick society and amputate the rotten parts.
The case of the Queen against Fowkes will be resumed tomorrow in the Crown Court.
I was in Berlin after the war. I was in Korea. I was in Cyprus. If you had seen, you would have realized that what we need is to take a knife to the body of our whole sick society and amputate the rotten parts.
Major James Fowkes stands charged with stealing trust funds in his capacity as bursar to a school for epileptic children. The jury have heard Sir Richard Cresswell state that Fowkes was instructed to invest £15,000 of trust money in ICI shares. Henry Ince, a stockbroker, has testified that the accused put only 1,500 of this into ICI. The rest was invested under his own name in some high-risk mining shares, which are now worthless. The cheque for the investment came from Lady Virginia Cresswell, mother of an epileptic boy. It is alleged that Fowkes deceived her into signing it for £20,000 instead of 15. But in the witness box, she unexpectedly retracted this story. The defence case is that Fowkes acted under the guidance of Sir Richard Cresswell and is now being made the scapegoat.
I would like now to return to your work at the school. Frankly, Major, I find it hard to understand why, feeling yourself to be the victim of injustice at the hands of the Knowles Trust, you continue to work there.
You may find it hard. I don't. My family needed the money. And I needed the strength that I was given by Lady Cresswell's friendship.
Yes, we've gathered that.
You needn't worry, anyway. I've been dismissed now.
I'm very sorry to hear it. Now, as to this unofficial present of £5,000, which you say Lady Cresswell gave you right out of the blue...
You know damn well that that was for my daughter, and just the interest on it at that.
And you know perfectly well that she could never have done such a thing.
For what reason?
Because both of you were well aware that the other trustees could never have approved a gift of that nature.
Yes, I asked her about that, and she pointed out to me that the trust deed did allow it.
Nevertheless...
Let me finish, please. The terms of reference say that money may be used for the benefit of severely epileptic children and other allied charitable causes at the discretion of the trustees. I believe I've got it correctly.
I hardly think your daughter qualifies as a charitable cause under those terms.
No, she's just a bloody cripple, isn't she?
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to offend you.
I'll take your word for it.
Now, if this extra £5,000 was genuinely intended as an investment for the benefit of your daughter, why did you never approach any member of the board for their approval?
I left that to Lady Cresswell. She has a way with people.
That's very convenient. It doesn't begin to stand up. Despite her noble attempt to protect you in court, the plain, unvarnished truth is that you lied to her.
It's not.
You told her to make out the cheque for £5,000 extra because you knew that she was unaware of the board's decision.
I told her to make it out for £15,000. She said so herself.
Let's go on. If this extra £5,000 was a legitimate investment, why did you never invest it under the trust's name?
So I had no wish to bring the trust into disrepute because the whole Natalia scheme was a dirty investment.
Do you mean speculative?
No, I mean the whole thing was a total disaster, that's all. I should have put the money into ICI.
Did you tell Lady Cresswell what you had done with it?
No, I didn't.
Why not?
She never asked.
She never asked?
Virginia loathes the money side of things.
Ah, so there you are, with a total of £18,500 invested in these mining shares, which are now falling fast. At that stage, you received a letter from the stockbroker concerned, warning you that the collapse was imminent. Did you then say anything to Lady Cresswell?
It wasn't her worry.
Oh, we've heard a great deal about the intimacy that existed between you. Surely, if you were innocent, you would have confided in her.
There was another factor. There was supposed to be a seller's market just around the corner. At least Cresswell thought there was, and I trusted his instinct.
Whatever the reasons may be, it is a truly staggering list of omissions. We've heard a great web of events to your story. Let's now see if it is possible to summarize them briefly for the benefit of the jury. Please correct me if I make a mistake.
I will.
Firstly, this so-called gift of £5,000 which you invested in Natalia under your name, you never at any point said anything about it to Lady Cresswell?
No.
Nor to her husband?
No.
Nor to any of the other trustees?
No.
And then the rest of the money, £13,500 of which was also invested in Natalia under your name. You never at any stage informed Lady Cresswell what had been done with it?
I told you.
Just answer the question.
No, I didn't.
Nor any of the other trustees?
No.
Well, you seem to have omitted a remarkable amount of information.
God is aware of the reason for that, even if you're not.
Oh? What reason?
Something they taught us in the army. Loyalty, if you can understand that concept.
Loyalty to whom?
Towards my employer, Sir Richard Cresswell. He asked me to be discreet about Natalia. I gave him my word.
Really? And was it loyalty to your employer that led you, with a sick wife of your own, to conduct an affair with his wife behind his back?
My lord, I object to that. None of the witnesses has suggested any impropriety in my client's relations with Lady Cresswell.
I think your lordship will agree one doesn't only measure loyalty sexually.
Nevertheless, you intended it in those terms. I think you should withdraw the remark.
As your lordship pleases. I have then no further questions.
Mary, you may return to the dock, Major Fowkes.
Thank you, Lord.
I call Mrs. Violet Fowkes.
Violet Fowkes, please.
You are Mrs. Violet Fowkes of 24 Hillfield Crescent, Fulchester?
Yes.
You are the defendant's wife?
Yes.
Your daughter, Eloise, isn't a normal child, is she?
No.
In what way is she abnormal?
She has what they call spina bifida.
Do you look after her yourself?
Yes.
Completely?
No, there is also a home help.
Will you tell the court why this is necessary? You suffer from a heart condition.
Yes, yes.
Does this affect you very much?
Well, I can't do a lot of the things I used to do.
Does your daughter receive regular treatment?
No, she never has.
Why not?
It's not easy to get unless you're well off.
Have you and your husband at any time recently made plans to get special attention for her?
Yes.
Will you tell the court about that, please?
18 months ago, we heard about a clinic in Gothenburg in Sweden where they take spina bifida cases up to the age of 16. They do research as well. We wrote to them about Eloise.
With what result?
Oh, the competition was just too much. Well, for a sister's places, that is. It would have been different if we could have paid.
Did that situation change?
Yes. One day my husband said that he'd managed to find the money, a long-term loan he was hoping a friend would give him.
Can you remember when your husband first mentioned the possibility of this loan?
Yes, it was before the board ever decided to invest any money.
How long before?
It would be in early in 1973, well, at least a month before.
So your husband had already planned to send Eloise to Sweden a whole month before he became aware that the board would entrust him with the sum of £15,000.
Yes.
Do you believe him capable of putting money that didn't belong to him into unauthorized shares for his own personal profit?
Why shouldn't he be capable of it?
I beg your pardon?
Well, there's nothing strange about that. I mean, he was very worried he was going
to... Are you trying to tell us...
The witness finish, Mr. Harvesdale.
Sorry, my lord.
Go on, Mrs. Fowkes.
It was going to cost £1,800 to send Eloise to the Frederickson Institute. But as a matter of fact, he couldn't have done what people said.
How do you know?
My husband is a very religious man.
Yes, in what way?
He believes that God's will is being worked out on earth, that we see it every day.
Do you recall the evening prior to the day on which your husband was arrested?
Yes.
Do you recall anything in particular that occurred that evening?
Yes. He came home later than usual. He said he'd been to see Sir Richard Creswell at his home.
What was his mood?
Oh, he seemed rather worried about something. He tried not to let me see it, but I could tell.
Did he seem at all frightened to you?
Oh, no, no.
Did anything else happen?
Yes. Sometime in the early hours of the morning, he made a phone call.
Do you know to whom?
Yes, I was still awake, and when he came back to bed, I asked. He said he'd been speaking to Sir Richard. He said one other thing as well.
What was that?
He said, "Those who live by the sword."
Do you know to whom he was referring?
Sir Richard, I thought.
Those who live by the sword, that's all?
Yes.
Thank you. Please stay where you are, please.
When was your husband arrested, Mrs. Fowkes?
Sorry, what did you say?
I said, when was your husband arrested?
The day after the phone call.
What was the date?
It would be last May or June.
It was April. Your memory for dates doesn't seem awfully reliable, does it? And now, as to this mysterious friend who was to give your husband a loan, what was his name?
Oh, I'm afraid I didn't know him. It was someone my husband met in the army. Has a business, I believe.
I see. Did your husband ever discuss Sir Richard Cresswell with you?
Sometimes.
What were his feelings towards him?
He felt Sir Richard had stopped our daughter from getting a place at the school. He just didn't believe Sir Richard's reasons for it.
What reasons?
Apparently, Sir Richard thought the school wouldn't suit Eloise because her intelligence wasn't up to that of the epileptic children.
Oh, what were your feelings about that?
Oh, I never thought her intelligence was all that important. A lot of other things she could do with before that.
I see. Your husband is a man of strong convictions, is he not?
Yes.
You said before that he believes God's will is being worked out. What do you think he means by that?
He is convinced that in the end, good will win over evil, and the weak will inherit the earth over the strong.
Your husband holds some extremely left-wing views on wealth and privilege, does he not?
Oh, yes, he's changed a lot in the last few years.
I'm sorry to ask this, Mrs. Fowkes, but I must. Would it be true to say that as a result of your heart condition, shocks are dangerous for you?
Yes.
This whole trial, for instance?
Yes.
Well, then I suggest to you that your husband invented the story of a generous friend in order to spare you the anxiety of knowing the source of his sudden funds.
No, he wouldn't do that.
Did he ever tell you how he had invested the trust's money?
After his arrest.
Did he also neglect to tell you that he had obtained an additional £5,000 from Lady Cresswell?
There are a lot of things he no longer confides in me.
What sort of things?
The activities we can't share now because I don't blame him for finding her company more refreshing than mine. It's just that he...
What?
He thinks I don't realise how we've drifted apart, but he's mistaken. It's funny, really. In the end, our marriage is just like theirs.
Thank you. No further questions.
Are you Georgis Andreas Gayonatakis of 17 Camden Lane, London, NW1?
I am.
What is your occupation, Mr. Gayonatakis?
Travel agent.
And ex-terrorist.
Sir Richard, if you make another remark of that nature, I shall have you removed from the court. Proceed, Mr. Harvester.
Do you know the defendant?
Yes, Jimmy and I have been friends for a long time.
Since when?
Since he saved my life in Cyprus during the troubles. 1954 that was.
He was serving in the army?
That's right, but not me.
Do you mind if I lead on time and place?
Not at all.
Did you have occasion to meet the defendant at Fulchester sometime in February of 1973?
I did.
Will you tell the court what happened at that meeting?
Yes, I was here for business for a few hours, just passing through, so Jimmy, Major Fowkes, there is, and I met for a couple of pints and chat about the old days. I asked him how was his little girl, and he told me.
What did he tell you?
That she needs a lot of treatment. So we talked about her for a long time, and then I found out he has no money, only worse than before. When we were saying goodbye, I told him I was going to lend him £1,200.
Why?
During our conversation, he told me about a place in Sweden that is best for his child. It cost £1,800 to get her there, but he had already saved 600.
Did he ask you for the money?
Jimmy? No.
When was it to be repaid?
What do you think?
Well, I'm asking you.
We arranged 5 years, but I knew he could never do it.
One thing more. Why did you offer to help him to such a great extent?
Because my people, Greek people, help each other. You know the saying, an Englishman's home is his castle?
I do.
Well, for me, this means nobody goes in, nobody comes out.
I hope we're not all as bad as that.
Please stay there, Mr. Gayonatakis. I shan't keep you long. Now, tell me, how is it you could afford to be so generous towards the defendant? Are you a rich man?
No, I'm not, but unlike Major Fowkes, I have never let other people use me.
Are you acquainted with Sir Richard Cresswell?
Unfortunately, I made what you call his acquaintance once with Jimmy.
What were Jimmy's feelings towards him?
Sorry, I don't get you.
Did he dislike him?
Oh, not at all. He understood perfectly the kind of a person he was.
What do you mean?
One of your imperial leftovers.
Mr. Gaianatakis, kindly refrain from making frivolous remarks.
I'm sorry, sir.
You address me as my lord.
My lord?
Miss Lewis?
I put it to you as a fact that your friend Jimmy felt a strong personal resentment towards his chairman because he felt he had been exploited by him.
I don't think so. He was just realizing what makes the world go round.
Are you seriously telling us he harbored no antipathy for Sir Richard?
Antipathy?
Do you not know what that means?
Yes, it's a Greek word.
I'm so glad we understand one another. What does make the world go round, Mr. Gaianatakis?
You're a lawyer and you ask me?
Yes.
Money, influence, you know that.
When do you think Jimmy began to realize that?
In Cyprus, when he was on security work?
Through meeting you?
No. When he saw what was going on there in your little colony?
And when his left-wing views started?
Oh, left-wing, right-wing, they're just words. Jimmy is not a political man. Religious, maybe.
Oh, yes, we've heard a great deal about his religion. Your friend believes, does he not, that those who live by the sword deserve to die by it?
Do you mean some people should get what's coming to them?
Precisely.
Possibly.
You see, I'm going to suggest to you that this means Major Fowkes is not the innocent pawn he would have us believe.
Well, you may suggest it to me, but I disagree.
And I further suggest that Major Fowkes decided that Sir Richard Cresswell deserved to be punished and that he has taken it upon himself to be the instrument of that punishment.
My lord, how can the witness possibly answer that?
It won't be necessary. Let us return to your testimony. I'm sure everybody sincerely wishes that the health of the defendant's daughter will improve. May we assume that arrangements have been made to take her to Sweden?
No, you may not assume. Everything has been delayed by this witch hunt.
I see. Do you know the name of the defendant's daughter?
Eloise?
And do you know the name of the clinic in Sweden?
No.
Do you know where it is?
In Sweden?
Do you know its whereabouts in Sweden?
No, I have never asked.
You've never asked?
No, these things are not important.
If you say so. Do you know of anyone whom Major Fowkes told about the loan?
My lord, the fact that the witness may not know of anyone does not mean that there was no one.
Nevertheless, I think he can be allowed to answer the question.
Your lordship pleases.
Did you know anyone?
No, I don't.
And did you yourself tell anybody?
No, not even my wife. This was a private matter.
A very well-kept secret, I'd say.
Yes, between friends.
Precisely. And after all, Major Fowkes did save your life once, didn't he?
Yes.
And this must mean a great deal to you.
Yes. It means that sometimes you find true justice in a man's heart, not in the court of law. That's what I would do anything for Jimmy.
Including perjure yourself.
Listen, if I wanted to do that, I wouldn't have stopped with one lie. I would have supported his whole story all the way.
Indeed.
Indeed I would. Do you think after what I've been through in Cyprus in 1954, I would now be scared of an English court?
No, Mr. Gaianatakis, I think you have no respect at all for an English court.
I've no re-examination, my lord.
You may stand down.
That concludes the case for the defence, my lord.
Now, members of the jury, my task is to direct you on questions of law arising from this case. If I make any comments that appear to be expressing my views of a witness's testimony, you are perfectly free to disregard them, because you and you alone are the sole judges of fact. Now, the financial facts in this case are not in dispute. As to the cheque that was made out by Lady Cresswell for £5,000 more than the trustees instructed, whose idea was it? Did the defendant deliberately deceive her as to the amount, or was it, as she now claims, made at her suggestion? Now, you will give Lady Cresswell's testimony the weight that you think it deserves, but since it conflicts with her original statement to the police, I must warn you to approach what she says with extreme caution. And I must also tell you that her original statement cannot be used as evidence against the defendant. Now, you may believe, as has been suggested, that the defendant did not steal in the ordinary sense of the word, that he merely hoped to make a quick profit from selling Metalia shares if and when they rose, then sell them and subsequently reinvest the original money in ICI as instructed. I must warn you that even if he did this in law, he would be guilty of the charges. But it is, of course, for the prosecution to show that guilt. Now, in order to convict the defendant, you must be sure that he did what he did, knowing it to be unauthorized, knowing it to be dishonest. And you must bear in mind that he stands charged on two separate counts. First, the theft of £13,500 of the original sum. Second, the obtaining by deception of £5,000 from Lady Cresswell. Now, you may find on one or other or both of these charges. Now, members of the jury, will you kindly retire to consider your verdict?
All stand.
The prisoner will remain standing. Members of the jury, will your foreman please stand? Just answer this question, yes or no. Have you reached verdicts upon which you are all agreed?
Yes.
On the charge of theft of £13,500, how do you find the prisoner, guilty or not guilty?
Guilty.
Is that the verdict of you all?
It is.
On the charge of obtaining £5,000 by deception, how do you find the prisoner, guilty or not guilty?
Guilty.
Is that the verdict of you all?
It is.
In sentencing Major Fowkes to 3 years' imprisonment, Mr. Justice Campbell took account of the extenuating circumstances of his case. Next week, a chance for you to join the jury in assessing the facts when our cameras return to watch another case in the Crown Court.